This year, the National Park Service turns 100 years old. We're celebrating our centennial. It's a wonderful time to look back and think of how we got here, how park rangers and national parks became what they are today. And to do that, it's important to look back at the giants that created the foundation, the first leaders in our agency who paved the way to have the parks that we have today.
As the first Park Service Director, Stephen Mather is the George Washington of the National Park Service. He was a brilliant businessman. His real specialty was publicity. He helped turn borax, this thing that they dug out of Death Valley before it was a national park, into a necessity for every housewife in America by coming up with the whole 20 Mule Team borax advertising campaign. Made a lot of money doing that. He was in love with the out of doors. As a fellow who suffered from, retrospectively we can say, was bipolar, manic depressive, found that time in nature helped calm his nerves, restore his spirit. He was an acolyte of John Muir, who he had met on a Sierra Club outing. He was John Muir with an MBA, basically. He had the same sort of effervescent personality, had the same power of persuasion, but also was a millionaire with connections to people in the highest levels of industry and the highest levels of government. He knew everybody, and he was a dynamo, and he got things done. And he was on a trip in the Sierra around 1915, and he came across a bunch of trash and other things. He thought, they're not taking care of these parks. He wrote an angry letter to the Secretary of Interior, who he happened to know, complaining about it. And he got a letter back saying, well, if you think things could be run better, why don't you come here and try it yourself? So he did. It had been 30-some years of national parks before there was a National Park Service. And so Mather took this on to try to mobilize public opinion to say, we have to have an agency of government whose only duty is to take care of these great treasures that are the national parks.
Stephen Mather definitely had a favorite park, and that park was Yosemite. For Stephen Mather, coming to Yosemite was more than just a place of enjoyment. He suffered from depression, and Yosemite National Park was a place of healing for him. And that's the power that a place like Yosemite had not only on Stephen Mather, but on many people who visit this park every year.
As a proud American, he saw national parks as an expression of who we are as a people, that these things are the creation of a democracy, that they do belong to everyone.
Stephen Mather wasn't just the first director of the National Park Service. He was also a personal example of the power of philanthropy. Here in Yosemite alone, he used his own funding to purchase the Tioga Road, which he then donated to Yosemite. He used his own money to build the Ranger Club where the first park rangers were housed. His example carries on today with partner groups like the Yosemite Conservancy, who help fund a wide range of important projects throughout Yosemite. National parks belong to the American people, and as we look forward into the next 100 years, we want to make sure that people from all walks of life in our country have opportunities to visit these special places. We want to make sure that we engage new audiences, engage our future stewards, so that these places will be protected and preserved long after we're gone.